My thing was, no, I didn't think she would come in and dominate. I thought it would take her some time to adjust to being a professional.
Know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulder.
Like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course.
Caitlin Clark just delivered the ultimate clapback in her recent interview, and Sheryl Swoopes is spiraling like never before. Her fragile ego has officially shattered, and now she's out here proving just how much she can't stand Caitlin's success, calling Caitlin's historic victory undeserved is not just a bad take, it's downright embarrassing.
What's your reaction to Caitlin Clark winning Time Magazine Athlete of the Year?
I don't think I'm surprised. I'm curious to know who the other candidates.
Let's be real, Sheryl, this isn't something Caitlin's fans or the basketball community will let you walk away from unscathed. Caitlin poured her heart, sweat, and soul into this league to earn the title of Time Athlete of the Year. It's not just a win for her, it's a win for women's basketball.
Grown up a huge women's sports fan, whether it was basketball, whether it was soccer, whether it was volleyball, you go down the list. Like, I grew up loving it and watching it, so it's pretty special. Like, it doesn't really feel real that I get to be here, but
no, here you are bitter and petty, trying to downplay her accomplishments. Guess what? You don't get to dismiss greatness and expect no consequences. Caitlin has built a legacy, and it's time you learn to deal with.
That's the very first WNBA player ever win Time Magazine Athlete of the Year. It's pretty special, and my question is like the criteria, is it based off of her performance on the court, which, yeah, she had a great year, or is it more about the impact that she had on the...
Sheryl Swoopes, what a spectacle you've made of yourself. Caitlin Clark just pulled off the ultimate flex by becoming the first WNBA player in history to snag Time Athlete of the Year. And instead of applauding her greatness, you decided it was the perfect moment to make yourself look small. Bravo, Sheryl, truly an MVP move in pettiness, that is. But
Wilson in there.
That was just basketball.
So that's what I'm saying. Was it just the performance on the court, or
it's global? Like, I think it's everything.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, a name you clearly can't escape. Her stats alone could send any hater scrambling for excuses. 19. 5 points per game, 8 for assists, and 5. 7 rebounds as UK rookie. Did I mention she led the league in assists and obliterated the WNBA single-season assist record? And her 761 points across 39 games crushed Simone Augustus' rookie scoring record. Meanwhile, Sheryl, your most exciting stat seems to be the number of podcasts you've used to whine about. And Caitlin isn't just about numbers. She's single-handedly transforming women's basketball into a must-see event. Remember when the Atlanta Dream had to relocate their game to a 20,000-seat arena just because Caitlin Clark was on the court? That's called impact. It's something you might remember from your heyday, Sheryl, back when dial-up internet was a thing. Caitlin's bringing in ticket sales, skyrocketing TV ratings, and putting women's basketball on the map in ways you couldn't dream of. But hey, don't let that stop you from being bitter. Now, let's get to your tantrum, shall we? On Gil's Arena, you decided to question the criteria for Caitlin's award. Really, Sheryl, the criteria, is it based on on-court performance or global impact, you asked, as if Caitlin hasn't crushed both categories.
Like when someone's getting something that we don't think they deserve, right? When we've been in the game.
Then you tried to nom-drop other athletes like A.A. Wilson and some random Olympic swimmer, claiming they were more deserving. Hate to break it to you, but your transparent jealousy isn't hiding behind those thinly veiled digs. And don't think we didn't catch your swipe at Caitlin's NCAA records, blaming modern gameplay changes for inflating her stats. That's rich coming from someone who played in a slower-paced league with less competition. It sounds like you're just bitter she's doing what you couldn't. Modern gameplay or not, Caitlin's already outscored your career high point, Sheryl, in her rookie season. Maybe that's why you're so salty.
It's hard to think about. Like, I was basically just starting my senior year of college at this time last year, and then I graduated. I missed my college graduation, got drafted here in New York City, basically moved right to Indianapolis, and basically start like a whole new chapter of your life instantly, and you don't really have much time to adjust. But lucky enough, I had a really great support system and family around, and I'm from the Midwest, so didn't take me too long. But
while you were busy sharpening your claws, Caitlin was out here taking the high road instead of firing back. She focused on acknowledging the trailblazers. Yes, even you, who paved the way for her. She highlighted the foundational role Black women played in the league and turned your negativity into a moment of gratitude. Class act, right? It's almost like she's too busy building the league you supposedly care about to stoop to your level.
Look back and think about all the amazing things that I was able to accomplish and the people that I got to do it with. I think that's what's made it so special is I've had my family with me the whole time.
Here's the thing, Sheryl. Caitlin's actions speak louder than your shade. Her games are selling out, her fans are growing by the minute, and her influence is undeniable. She's bringing attention to women's basketball in ways your podcast rants never could. You're just proving that bitterness ages worse than bad coaching.
How you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulder.
I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then obviously coming to the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course.
I really don't know what's the definition of dominating for this woman, but let's talk about the contrast here, because it's too delicious to ignore. Caitlin is elevating everyone around her, fans, teammates, and even her critics by not stooping to their level. Meanwhile, you're stuck in your outdated ways, throwing out petty remarks in an attempt to stay relevant. If there's one thing Caitlin's taught us, it's that real greatness doesn't need to tear others down to shine. She's out here breaking records and making history while you're clinging to your past like it's a lifeboat in a storm. Here's an idea, Sheryl. Instead of criticizing Caitlin, maybe take a page out of her book and focus on uplifting the league. Or is that too much work?
Represented something so special for the sport, but you've drawn eyes to a game that you've always grown up loving. What does that mean to you?
You know, it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around because I'm so focused and so competitive, and I love the game. I love playing. I love being in front of the fans. But over the course of probably the last 2.5 years, it's all kind of changed where, you know, it's hard to get a ticket whether we're at home.
Sheryl Swoopes clearly didn't get the memo that greatness evolves, and Caitlin Clark is leading that evolution while Swoopes is left gasping for relevance. The clash between these two isn't just about basketball, it's about one generation refusing to acknowledge the next brilliant. Swoopes, representing the so-called old guard, clings to a bygone era when slower games and modest crowds, where the Caitlin, on the other hand, embodies a revolution. Her electric play, record-breaking performances, and ability to draw 20,000 fans per game have catapulted the WNBA into the mainstream on ABC and ESPN. The difference is glaring. Swoopes had fewer than 5,000 fans at her peak, while Caitlin is packing arenas and raising the league's visibility like never before. It's like comparing a black and white TV to 4K Ultra HD. Swoopes' critiques are rich with hypocrisy. She claims to support women's basketball, yet tears down the very player putting it on the global map. Caitlin doesn't just play the game, she changes it. While Sheryl grumbles about today's athletes, Caitlin uses her platform to uplift everyone, including teammates, coaches, and even critics like Swoopes. Caitlin's grace makes Sheryl's bitterness even more glaring. Here's the truth: Caitlin is carrying women's basketball into a new era, and Sheryl is clinging to the old one, dragging her feet like a relic stuck in the past. Know how you feel or how you respond to some of those criticisms when you have to deal with something that it's really not your problem. Like, I feel like it's them looking in a mirror a little bit, but it still comes down on your shoulders. I feel like I always have had really good perspective on everything that's kind of happened in my life, whether that's been good, whether that's been bad. And then, obviously, coming into the WNBA, like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. And let's talk about dominance. Caitlin Clark isn't just good, she's redefining what it means to dominate. Despite having no off-season, jumping from a grueling college schedule straight into the WNBA, she outperformed every rookie expectation. She played over 82 games without missing a single one, a feat most players wouldn't dare attempt. Meanwhile, Sheryl sits comfortably behind a podcast mic, throwing shade like she's hosting a daytime soap opera. Caitlin's on-court dominance is matched only by her off-court leadership, advocating for Black women in the league and constantly engaging with fans. Caitlin proves that being a star isn't just about stats, it's about impact. She's signing autographs, inspiring young